Hey there, Bruce, and welcome back to the Game of Fortune. We're carrying on from where we left last time. We are still in the middle of that game. I think that's spanned over 3 episodes at this point now. Where we're hiking. I think it's 3 episodes. So far, everybody's alive. And, oh, we're Devon still. Let's carry on. With Kishi's aid, I was able to get changed into a fresh set of dry clothes. You really want to prove yourself, don't you? Yeah, I guess that makes me kind of annoying, doesn't it? Not annoying, it's admirable, in a way. I just don't really get what you're trying to prove to us. It's not like it matters if we believe that you're tough enough or anything, does it? I know. I guess I just want to do it. This is just a stupid hike, and maybe I'm dumb for thinking I should make it all the way to the end. But I just want to prove to myself that I can make it. And honestly, I don't want to be alone in a tent with my thoughts right now. I'm sure that if I do, my mind will end up wandering to places that I don't want it to. Oh well, that's easier to understand, I suppose. Well, no matter what you end up doing, no matter how far you go, I hope you don't equate your worth to how other people view you. That's not a healthy way to live. You're one to talk, you're a rock star. You wouldn't be able to live the way you do if you didn't have a adoring legion of fans. You get a constant stream of people saying how much they'd miss you if you were gone. Well, I guess you got a point there. Doesn't mean that I'm wrong though. If you keep searching for attention and approval from others, you're gonna be reliant on it. It's not like I need it from everyone. I just need it from someone that I want to hear it from, you know? And now those people are gone. Alright, I'm all patched up. What's with you two? Having another heart-to-heart or something? Something like that, just listening to her is all. Anyway, about the tent. Oh, you can keep it, Kishi, I don't need it. How many votes does it need? Only 1. Would you believe that? If it keeps up at this rate, the last tent isn't going to need any. Just gotta get there. Did you already vote for me? Well, not yet. Wanted to just check up on you two first. Kishi stood up and walked over toward the tent and looked at the screen. Alright then, vote's locked in. It's all yours, Maria. Sweet, so we can keep going and... Wait, what? Why'd you give me the tent? I said I didn't want it. Oops, my finger must have slipped. No way your finger would have slipped over something that important. Oh well, what's done is done. Not like it matters. You'd end up coming along no matter whether it was your tent or not. True, but you're being too altruistic. Let someone else be the self-sacrificial one for once. When you put it that way, you make it sound like I'm hogging all the kindness. Well, no point getting sour over it. Thanks, Kishi. Honestly, I only said that because I didn't want you all to get mad at me later. Despite everything you say, I can tell that you're the type that's always looking out for yourself. I figured that you'd for sure want this tent, and you'd fight me over it. Surprise, surprise, I can have my kind moments too. Besides, you deserve some security too. Guess so. Well, should we march on then? Just because I got a tent doesn't mean I'm going to finish the journey myself. I'm not going to finish though. Only 1 more tent left to find and we can all get out of here. Yep, just 1 more to go. After Maria found me a nice stick to help me walk, we continued down the trail once more. Oh, was anyone checked up with Laura, by the way? Wouldn't want her to get bored and lonely in that tent. I talked with her a while back, but I guess it wouldn't hurt to catch her up to speed with what's happened. I can do it. I haven't chatted with her in a bit. Sure. Can you text and walk with that stick at the same time? Guess we'll find out. It was a little hard to walk and text at the same time, but I managed to make it work. Hey Laura, how are things on your end? I'm doing alright, a little bored and somewhat worried. Are you okay? I'm guessing you found some free time. Yeah, we just made it past the 3rd tent and we're going to the 4th one now. But you're going to the 4th tent? Who else is with you? Kishi, Maria and I are all going together. You're all going together? Yeah, I actually got the 2nd tent, but I wanted to keep going. Maria has the 3rd tent and Kishi will get the 4th tent when we get to it. I see. Now I feel kind of bad that I didn't go along with all of you. Don't worry about it. I got attacked by a crocodile. What? Yeah, it was pretty painful, but I'm walking now, so it's all good. You're tough if you're able to keep walking after a crocodile attack. What can I say? I'm tough as nails and hard to kill. Well, that's good. How's Kishi doing? Is she alright? She seems fine, though she does space out from time to time. I see. I was worried about her as well. She asked me a few personal questions a while back. Like what? Oh, well, you remember how I said I got asked to kill someone with a wish here? Sorta. Kishi asked who it was I was meant to kill. Did you tell her? No, it felt weird to talk about it. But she was really insistent about it. When I wouldn't give her a name, she asked who wanted me to make that wish. I don't have a name to give, it was sort of an anonymous representative of that Digits of Eden group. Then she just stopped texting me, so I figured that she was angry with me. Want me to ask her? No, don't ask her. I don't want to make her angry. I just don't get why it's all that important to her that she knows who I was asked to kill. It's not something that is really easy to talk about anyway. Alright, I won't ask. But she hasn't seemed angry, if that makes you feel better. Hey Devon. Looks like we're about to come up to our last obstacle. Put the tablet down and check it out. Alright, give me a second. Gotta go. Looks like we're about to get to something important. Talk to you later. Okay, be safe out there, Devon. With that, I tucked my tablet away and looked ahead to see what it was that demanded my attention. This is all your fault, Maria. I hope you know that. Okay, when I said that there'd be a mountain to climb over, I didn't think we'd actually have to deal with a mountain. What were the odds that a mountain would actually show up? A mountain? We have to hike up a goddamn mountain? Sorry. If you want to sit this one out, I understand. It's hard enough to hike up a mountain even without an injured leg. Well, let's see how far I can go. If I think I can't go any further, then I'll stop. Don't force yourself, it'll probably be the hardest part of the hike that we've got. Don't jinx yourself, Kishi. It'd probably be cold and windy up the mountain, so you'd probably be gonna be worse for wear out of anyone here. Suppose you got a point. Well, no point fretting about it now, let's get going. The mountain path was gravelly, and the uneven ground made walking difficult enough, injury or not. The further up we travelled, the colder it got and the windier it became. Eventually, snow began to fall, and it was like we were in a snowy area from before. Kishi, Devon, you two holding up okay? Cold, but otherwise I'm fine. I'm alright, leg hurts, but nothing I can't handle. That's good, that's good. I don't think we got too much further to go to get to the top. But I'm worried about what Belle's got in store for us. Like, is she going to summon an avalanche or a mountain lion or cause an earthquake? Let's hope she goes easy on us and just lets the pain of hiking up the mountain be our only challenge. You know, I think I misunderstood the point of this whole game. What do you mean? At first I thought it was going to be like squabbling over who got which tent. Like, when you think about the first tent, we got to it after having to cross a frozen lake in the blistering cold. And then after that we had to walk through a scorching desert. Even in the swamp we got attacked by a crocodile, right where the tents were. Bella's obviously making it so that we'd want these tents for each and every annoying encounter we get. It seems to make sense. That's why you let Laura take the first tent, right? I did think that she'd get more and more frantic if we didn't get her an early tent. But that's just the nature of the game. Each time you pass up a tent you have to go through more tough shit. And I thought that initially you'd end up arguing and fighting with others over who got in the tent and who doesn't. But now I'm not so sure if that's the whole trick of the game. And that's because when Devon decided to come along with us, it changed your line of thinking, right? Well, sort of, but I also realised that the number of votes needed to enter a tent isn't based on a majority. It looks like it's just counting down by one each time. Why do you look so sad when you say that? Shouldn't that be a good thing? I mean, that means the last tent should only need 0 votes? Or maybe it just needs 1. You'd think that, but the more I thought about it, I started to think otherwise. The obstacles, the tents, the voting numbers, even the tablets. I'm starting to realise their true purpose in the game. And that is? Well, it's... Before she could answer that, the ground suddenly began to shake and stir. It was a low rumble at first, but it soon was hard to keep balance as the entire mountain seemed to be shaking. Me and my big fucking mouth. Try and get low. The last thing you want to do is roll off the mountain. We all crouched down and were able to stabilize ourselves to keep from falling off. Of course, that didn't help much when we were still in danger from getting crushed by the ensuing rock slide. We have to get moving. You don't have to tell me twice. The tumbling stone and debris from the top of the mountain began to pelt us with the ground. We kept our eyes up to avoid the bigger stones and the occasional boulder from flattening us into pancakes. We ran as fast as we were able, trying to outpace the falling rubble and trying to make it to whatever checkpoint that we could find. Of course, I straggled behind, but nevertheless hustled as best as I could. Eventually we rushed our way over toward a rickety looking bridge on the mountain. Oh, for fuck's sake. Of course there's some perilous looking bridge. Well, we don't have time to waste gawking at it. As if the mountain was agreeing with her, another violent shake sent a repeat wave of debris, rock and snow tumbling down near us. Let's just go. Alright, I'll go first. Maria quickly sprinted across the bridge, and it seemed to hold up well enough as she turned back to us and waved for us to follow. Guess I'll go next. Kishi amped herself up as she ran across the bridge next, but unlike with Maria, the bridge buckled slightly, and with the mountain still shaking, Kishi held on for dear life not to fall off. Fortunately, she was able to keep her balance and make it to the other side of the bridge. God, I thought I was gonna fucking die. Oh, you're here now, so don't worry about it. Devon, you're up next. Just sprint across. You can make it. I'll try. Sprinting can be next to impossible with my injury, but I could try limping as fast as possible. Still no point in fretting about it. I'll just have to pray that this damn bridge will hold up as I cross it. First few steps were fine, and even with the bridge shaking, it seemed to hold well enough. That's it, just a little further. And don't look down. Why would I even do that? Well, it probably helps, right? No, it doesn't, eh? As I took another step toward the wooden floor of the bridge cracked and my foot fell through. God damn it. I was stuck and I felt pain swelling in my brain as I was afraid of falling through. I could see the bottom, jagged stones and rocks ready to impale me if I were to somehow fall down. No. I didn't want to die. I'd come so damn far. I didn't want to die from a stupid old bridge. Don't worry, just pull yourself up, don't panic. You're doing great, Devon, keep at it. Right, don't panic. I took a deep breath and tried to ease my nerves. I carefully lifted my leg out from the broken hole and began to step across the bridge once more. This time I'd be more cautious, watching if any of the planks had been cracked or damaged. Just have to go slow and steady. That's it, you're gonna make it, Devon. Yep, you're more than halfway there. Of course, as soon as she said that, a boulder that was crashing down the mountain smashed into the bridge. The bridge immediately collapsed and I only had a split second to leap to the other side. My heart pulsed and I felt a flash of energy rush through my body as terror and adrenaline flooded my body. Just enough energy to make one leap of faith. A jump to hopefully make it to the other side. Devon? Here! Both Kishi and Maria rushed toward the edge of the bridge, reaching out their hands to catch me. I didn't have time to think, my body just acted. I reached for... oh my god. Maria, obviously. My hand reached for Maria's and I looked her square in the eye with desperation and hope that she'd catch me. That she'd grab hold of me and that I'd be safe. That I'd be saved. That I'd be alive. But my fingers just nicked the edge of her hand and I could feel gravity quickly pulling me down. This was it. This is how I died. A broken corpse at the bottom of a mountain. Or because I couldn't jump far enough. Because I couldn't sprint fast enough. Because I went and got myself injured by a damn crocodile. Because I wanted to prove I was strong enough. But I'm weak. Weak and worthless. Worthless. I'm so damn worthless. Now I'm gonna die worthless too. A worthless life. A worthless death. A worthless person. Worthless. Don't worry, I've got you. What? I looked in surprise to see Kishi grabbing a hold of my arm with both her hands dangling halfway off the ledge. Though I'm definitely slipping. Maria, mind giving me a hand? Right, don't you worry. I'll reel you in like a fish. With Maria's help, I was hoisted up to safety, and we all took a moment to catch our breath. The mountain even seemed to stop shaking, as if it were giving us a moment to pause. Whew, that was close. Belle's really pulling out all the stops to make this exciting and deadly, huh? Devon? I had buried myself in Kishi's chest and wrapped my arms around her. I couldn't handle it anymore, I just couldn't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Why are you apologizing? You didn't do anything wrong. If you're upset about the bridge collapsing, you know that's not your fault. It's not like you caused the earthquake and rock slide. Even so, it's all my fault. The lake and the gator and the bridge. You've been getting hurt all because of me. And then you nearly fell trying to catch me, and next time you won't just get hurt, you'll... Stop it. I felt Kishi putting her hands on my shoulders and glaring me dead in the eye. Stop all this self-destructive criticism of yourself. Just stop it. But... Listen to me. None of this. Nothing that happened here is your fault. Not Maria falling in the lake, not the crocodile attacking you, and not the bridge collapsing. None of it is your fault, and you can't keep thinking that bad things happen just because you're around. You're not some living bad luck charm causing misery and pain. Do you get it? I've never seen such anger and frustration in Kishi's eyes before. I felt myself shivering from the conviction in her words. Hey, Kishi, maybe you should ease up on her? No, don't you see? She can't keep tormenting herself like this. She's gonna break herself down. She's gonna collapse. She's going to drive herself mad if she keeps putting herself at fault for things here. She'll be broken. And if that happens, then they'll... She stopped herself and turned back to face me. Look at me, Devon. I need you to listen to me. Not hear me, but listen to what I'm saying and internalize it. You are not at fault for what happens here. Do you understand? I do, but nothing. Bad things happen. They always happen in these games. People die, people kill. Sometimes they are the reason, and sometimes it's just dumb luck. But you have to be strong. You have to be tough. You can't keep blaming every bad thing on yourself and keep thinking that you're a horrible person for it. You want to survive, right? I do, but stop making excuses. You want to survive? That should be the end of it. I don't even believe you. You sound like you're just saying what I want to hear. What do you want, Devon? Do you want to live or do you want to die? Snuffling and curled up in a dark corner. Kishi. Shut up. We can't keep coddling you like everything's going to be okay. It was fine before, but if it's going to happen over and over again, we have to try something else. We have to give her the painful truth. That's the only way she'll get through this. You don't know that. You might make things worse. And you think she'll be able to handle the rest of the games like this? That she's fine the way she is? That's... You know I'm right. Just let me handle this. Maria grumbled, but nevertheless shook her head and let Kishi continue. All I want to know is if she has the resolve to keep going. Do you have that, Devon? Do you have the resolve to keep going no matter how painful it gets? I can't hear you. I do. I don't believe you. I bet you don't even believe it yourself. If you're gonna speak from your damn heart at least. She poked me in the chest and kept her eyes locked onto mine, and a spark of anger flickered in my heart as I looked back up at her. Of course I want to survive. I don't want Clyde's death to be in vain. Who cares about Clyde? What about you? You're not living his life for him, are you? Why did they hurt so much to hear? It's not like I was living for Clyde, right? I just didn't want to sacrifice for me to go in vain. That's normal, right? I should be fighting for myself, trying to survive for myself. That should be my motivation, shouldn't it? I was silent as I balled my fists and felt the welling anger in my chest growing. I want to survive. I deserve to survive, just like anyone else here. Say it again. Say it louder. I deserve to survive. I deserve to live. With each word I spoke, I felt more and more emotions were banging at my throat, begging to be released. Every pent-up emotion, every subdued thought that had finally had enough. And I'll fight for it. Damn it. I'll fight with everything I've got to survive, because I'm tired of feeling like shit. I'm tired of feeling like I need to prove something to the world. Fuck everyone who was telling me that I wasn't good enough. Fuck all of them for making me feel like I was failing them when they didn't give a shit about me. And screw them all for making me think I was just some curse on everyone that I cared about and loved. It was like a dam was breaking, and a tide of relief was flowing out of me with each verbal confession. I don't want to feel like a burden, because that's it. Go on, shout it to the world. Let your voice echo across this damn cursed mountain. Because I'm not worthless. I could hear my voice echo across the landscape as if it were trying to yell my own words back at me. And I fell silent in awe of my own words. That's it. Don't let anyone ever tell you. Don't let anyone ever let you think you're worthless. Don't let them make you feel helpless. Kishi's gaze softened and tears began to well up in her eyes as she pulled me into a tight hug. Promise me you won't forget that feeling. Don't let anyone make you feel helpless, hopeless, or worthless. I won't. Then you're ready. You can get through anything when you carry that strength with you. Kishi let go of me and pointed me towards the summit of the mountain, which was just within walking distance. Let's go. We're close to the end, I think. You good? Yeah, I feel like I just threw a huge weight off my shoulder. Like I tossed a boulder down this mountain. Huh, well, I guess Kishi's methods work sometimes. I never would have figured that someone like her would be so what? Encouraging? Well, I guess she knows how to bring out the fire in someone. Probably comes from being in a rock band. Well, it must be working if you feel like making a good joke. Yeah, well, let's finish this. Feels like the hike has long overstayed its welcome. You don't have to tell me twice. Can you lend me your shoulder? I may be determined, but my leg still hurts a ton. Sure thing, Devon. Sure thing. We walked for a few more minutes toward the summit of the mountain. The winds died and a bright sunlight began to shine down on us. The warmth felt reinvigorating as we finally found ourselves at the top of the mountain, a view of the vast landscape. We could see from here that the landscape was cyclical. One path leading into another. The tundra led to the desert, which led to the swamp, which led to the mountain. And I could see a path that would lead back to the tundra again. What a sight to behold. Almost makes this whole thing worth it, I think. I think you'd have to show me the pearly gates of heaven to make me think that this hike was worth it. Be careful what you wish for. Anyway, there should be a tent around here, right? So we looked for a few seconds and found Kishi standing by what looked to be the last tent of the hike. Yo, Kishi finally found yourself a tent. She mournfully looked at the tent before turning to look out at the landscape again. Why the long face? Oh, it's nothing really. Just found out my suspicions were confirmed. I walked over toward the tent and inspected the screen. Number of votes needed? Let me guess, 4? Yep. Of course. This tent requires 4 votes to unlock? It seems so obvious in hindsight. Wait, really? But that doesn't make sense. The first tent required 3 votes, then the tent in the third desert required 2, and the tent in the swamp needed 1, so shouldn't this tent require 0? That would make sense, but I think what happened is that the order of the tents is just scrambled. Look at the land, it's a loop. It counts from 1 to 4. The issue is just that we didn't start at 1. We started at 3 and worked our way down. Kishi pointed out to each of the landscapes as if to highlight her explanation. But that's not fair, how are we supposed to figure that out? Because Belle told us. What? When did she do that? Right before we played the game. So what happens if you get to stay in one of the tents? Do you just get sent over to the lounge, or does something else happen? You'll stay there for a while. After all, you'll still be able to communicate with the others, but you won't be able to vote anymore. Seems a little too simple. What's the catch here? I'm sure you'll figure it out quickly, but that's all you really need to know. I'm sure if you all make the Grand Journey together, everything will be fine. No way, she basically told us how to survive right at the get-go. Seems to be the case. Keisha walked over beside the tent and pointed to a sign that had a button on it. It read, "Welcome to the summit. This game will end if you press the button. Please note that if you're not in a tent 4 minutes after the button is pressed, you will die as the world crumbles around you. The game will also end automatically 10 minutes after all eligible participants have entered their tents. I hope you've enjoyed your lovely hike. Your gracious, lovely, beautiful and fortunate host, Bow." Maria kicked the sign over in frustration. Bull fucking shit, this ain't fair. Do you get it? This whole game is just a series of tests and trials to see how far we'd all go, to see if we could all make it. Every location was uncomfortable or dangerous. It made the idea of huddling in a tent all the more appealing. The numbers going down each time made it seem like it would be fine to stay behind and not worry about whether anyone else would be able to survive. If you fell for that temptation even once, then someone was bound to die. And I guess we didn't see that clearly enough right at the start. It should have been obvious. Even the tablets are just meant for us to be able to communicate with one another so we can get in the tents before the button gets pressed. We were so close. If Laura hadn't entered her tent, then we could have kept going together. Don't blame her. We were the ones that sort of pushed her into that tent anyway. Well then what are we going to do? What do you mean what are we going to do? You two are going to have to hike back to your tents and I'll stay here. Then when you're all safe, I'll press the button and the game will end. That's it then, you're just going to die? It's not like there's anything else I can do. I've come to peace with my inevitable death. You three can carry on ahead, and I'll do what needs to be done. Alright then, if that's what's going to happen, then that's all there is to it. Yep, so good luck with the hike back down. Hopefully you can find a path that's safer going down than going up. This will be the last time I saw Kishi alive. We didn't know each other that long, and not too long ago I hated her more than anything else. Now I can't help but feel a pang of sadness in knowing that she'd be gone. What's that look? You better not be blaming yourself again. I'm not, I just wanted to say thank you. I extended a hand out to her. I'm sorry that things turned out this way. Kishi looked over my hand, smiled and gave me a firm handshake. Me too, but hey, it's not so bad. There's always next time. Next time, huh? You'll figure it out. Just remember your promise, okay? No matter how bad things get, don't let anyone break you. I won't. Never again. Then I won't keep you, Maria. Please make sure that Devon gets to her tent safe and sound. You don't have to tell me twice. Though, did you know about this whole thing back at the swamp tent? I had an inkling that this is how things were going to go. So take care of Devon in my absence, will you? Make sure nothing bad happens to her. Of course. Let's go, Devon. I think there's a separate path we can take since this bridge is out. Alright, let's go. I gave Kishi one last parting glance before walking down the mountain with Maria. Kishi looked as though she were at peace. Sad, but at peace. It was so strange how she seemed to be able to be so composed at times, and then as tough as a drill sergeant in another. Maria and I walked in silence until we managed to make our way down the mountain, and we were heading back toward the swamp. Except that this time there weren't any annoying bugs, at least none that I could see or feel biting at me. You right, Maria? You've been looking pretty pissed for a while now. Sorry, guess I was thinking about Kishi. Never would have figured she'd be so selfless, and I can't tell if it's an act or if she's genuine. Why would it be an act? Because she's part of the Digits of Eden. Right, she's the granddaughter of someone in charge and all that. Well, I don't trust them. They're schemers and they try to manipulate people. You know, like a cult. They prey on people's insecurities, try and reel them in when they're at their weakest. They wouldn't be surprised if she was trying to get on our good side, just so you'd be more willing to join them. You really think that? Of course I do. I've seen them do it before, time and time again. I know how these kind of people can easily hook someone into joining them with just a few kind words. Maybe Kishi's different. Maybe she's not actually all that interested in working with the Digits of Eden. But even so, I couldn't trust her to go with you and Laura alone. That's the reason I kept insisting to go along, in case Kishi was alone with either of you. That's the reason? It wasn't because of your superhuman resilience? Well, that too. But I just didn't really want either of you getting hoaxed into joining them as well. Nothing good can come out of it, I assure you that much. So you know from personal experience. Maria grew quiet as she looked down at the ground, and I saw a flicker of intense rage show itself in her face. Yeah. She let out a heavy sigh before patting her cheeks to compose herself. Anyway, just watch out for anyone making grand promises to you, okay? If Kishi really meant well, and only wanted to get you out of your mental funk, then that's good. I only hope you don't get targeted by anyone else here. Are there other people who work for the Digits of Eden? I think Everett and Teresa do, but don't quote me on that. If either of them say anything to you about it, just brush them off, alright? Oh well, trust me, I'm not going to be taking any shit from anyone anymore. Even a mean old crocodile? Well, maybe not that. I figured. Oh, I think this is my stop. Maria looked over at the tent that was coming into view. Just as cozy looking as I remember. Guess I wouldn't be alive if Kishi didn't vote for me to survive. Back then I thought she was just trying to get rid of me, but... Maria hummed to herself as she approached the tent and then looked at the trail. Hey, the trail's a little different. Look, it elevates over the swamp this time around. It does. Is Belle just trying to make things easier now that we've made it through to the end? Maybe. Do you want to go solo or do you still want me to escort you? I think I can make it. Alright, well, I'll see when this is all over then. Yep, see you soonish. With that, Maria entered into her tent and I went walking on the trail until I made it back to the desert tent. Once I entered inside, I carefully sat down and pulled out my tablet and texted Kishi. Hey Kishi, we made it to our tents. It took a few minutes for Kishi to respond back. Good, I was just chatting with Laura and Maria. Glad to know that you all made it back safe. I'll press the button and I guess you'll be moving on to in around 4 minutes or so. Right, thank you for everything, by the way. Don't mention it, these games are challenging in a way that I don't think anyone typically expects. Even if you know about them, you can still get overwhelmed and terrified. Honestly, I think it's impressive you've got enough spirit to keep going. I think most people would have crumbled after the first game. I know I did. You played these games before? Yeah, 4 years ago with Zeph. I even knew how the games worked and the rules, and even then I was scared and terrified of everything. I don't know how I got out of there in one piece. Sometimes I think I didn't. How'd you and Zeph survive? Doesn't the game only have one winner? That's true, there can only be one winner, but losing doesn't mean it's the end of everything. If you want the truth, if you want to survive, if you want Clyde to survive, then all you have to do is focus on winning. Do that and it'll all make sense. I know you can do it, Devon. I believe in you all the way. Suddenly my head throbbed in pain. I clutched my head and rolled onto my back as it continued to ache. Yet at the same time I felt something odd about it, as if I'd heard these exact words. Even though I kept feeling pain, I felt a wave of relief and melancholy? As if the words both gave me peace of mind and a sense of sadness. Eventually the pain went away, but I couldn't help but wonder, why did those words evoke such feelings from me? Well, my time's almost up, so I guess I'll be signing off. Until next time, Devon, good luck and good fortune to you. The tent began to shake violently. It was as if there were a terrible earthquake outside. All the materials jolted and shook, and I felt as though I was inside the drum of a dryer. I tumbled and tossed around until the world felt like an unsteady blur, until finally the world was silent and still. I huffed as I carefully untangled myself from the mess that had been made inside the tent and looked toward the opening in the tent, which flapped weakly. The game must have ended, so I was meant to leave, right? I crawled out of the tent and I was in the hallway. I looked around and saw that there were the three other tents here as well. And slowly Maria and Laura crawled out of theirs as well. Are we done? I guess we are. We all shaken up before being allowed to leave. Yeah, it felt like a bell at a fundraiser. Did someone say bell? Congratulations, each of you, for completing your journey through the game. Hopefully you'll feel nice and refreshed. You have a very strange idea for what kind of hike is nice and refreshing. You all look like you were having fun. First the frozen lake, then the desert. Oh, and you met a darling little friend at the swamp. You think that thing was a friend? I'd hate to think what you consider an enemy. Are we free to go then? Of course, just head down the hallway and you'll be back at the lounge. What about Kishi? What about her? She didn't make it to the tent, so she's taking a bit of a dirt nap if you catch my drift. How did she die exactly? You really want the nitty-gritty details of all that? Yes? Wow, who would have imagined sweet Laura being morbidly curious one of the group? Since you asked, I suppose I can show you the details. Belle snapped her fingers and pointed behind us. When we turned, we saw Kishi's corpse curled up in a ball on the ground. The bruises, cuts, and unnatural body positions. It was obvious that she'd somehow been crushed to death. There you have it, Kishi's earth-shattering corpse. It's like she got crushed by stones. Well, duh, she was on a mountain during an earthquake. Surely something bad was going to happen to her. So you satisfied now? I'm not sure if satisfied is the word I'd use to describe this. Oh, and I went through all the trouble of bringing her here. Oh well, not everyone appreciates my hard work. Belle clapped her hands once again and the body fizzed into a dark blue mist. That reminds me. Let me take care of those nasty injuries for you. Belle blew a kiss in our direction and a light blue haze enveloped our injuries, just like before, mending them back to normal. Now you should be roaring and ready to go. Don't tally too long. The other groups are no doubt excited to see you again. Ta-ta. And just like that, Belle vanished in a cloud of sparkling blue mist. I guess we should go and see what's waiting for us in the lobby, huh? There's nothing we can do here after all. Right, though I can't help but feel a little guilty over all this. Did Kishi fill you in on everything? Yes, how the tent needed 4 votes. Well, don't go blaming yourself for that one. I'm not, but it's still upsetting to know that we all could have survived. Just another lingering guilt, I suppose. All we can do is press on. It's what she would have wanted. I agree. I can't say I know her all that well, but she seemed to have some kind of aura of stability. I'll miss it. But if she were here, she'd be marching forward no matter what. Yeah, let's get as far as we can for her. We all nodded in agreement and walked down the hallway toward the lounge. And with that, we're going to wrap this one up here because we're out of time for today. But the hike game is finally complete, and we only lost Kishi. So that's something, I guess. I think we're moving on to the last game now. Is that right? Second to last or last? I guess we'll see. We'll find out what that game is in the next episode. Until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.